The Nug. I was sure before the Blight they were a whole lot more rare. Should ask a warden about that. If killing archdemons leaves nugs all over, and the poor things don't seem built for anywhere. I mean, they feed on anything, but they blister in the desert and freeze in the snow, and they're easier to track than your own ass. Everything eats them, except me. The hands put me off. Yet they thrive. Randy bastards outpace every tooth and claw. Anyway, my point is, those around the farm are inbred. They're like 5 colours and can't stop peeing. I'm seeing them in the capital as elusive eastern bunny pigs. What did Father say about idiots with deep pockets? Except from the private letters of Captain Brian Lapnug Dealer, produced evidence after 7th claims of water terrors and death follows bites in the Garden District, 936. A Study of the Fifth Blight, Volume 1. While some of my contemporaries dispute whether the Fifth Blight was a true blight or merely a large darkspawn resurgence, historians agree that it began in the swamps of the Korakuri Wilds on the southeastern border of Ferelden in the year 930 Dragon. King Kaelin therein was swift in responding to the threat, gathering the royal army, every Grey Warden in his country, and sending a call for aid to the Ferelden nobility. The assembled armies laid a trap in the ruins of the Ostagar, hoping to crush the force before it reached civilization, but they failed. Darkspawn overran the defenders of Ostagar and decimated the king and his army. They continued their advance into Ferelden unopposed. Only 2 Grey Wardens managed to escape the slaughter, and somehow they came into possession of ancient treaties which compelled the races of men to join arms against the massing horde. The surviving Wardens made their way to Kinloch Hold and assisted in annulling the Ferelden circle of the Magi, which had fallen to abominations. With the end of the tragic disaster, the Wardens conscripted the Templars. In desperation to find more allies, the Wardens journeyed to the Bristolian forest, seeking the Dalish. The Elves, too, joined the growing army. Into the deep roads the surviving Wardens went, searching the Paragon Branca in hopes she could settle the unrest in Orzammar and unite the dwarfs in the battle against the archdemon. Branca could not be located, but another paragon was found, the legendary Cardian, who forged a crown that ended all question of succession. Belden Tuin was crowned the king of Osmar, and the Dwarven armies marched for the surface. Despite the successes, though, greater challenges were yet to come. From a study of the Fifth Blight by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. A Study of the Fifth Blight, Volume 2. The Wardens sought Owl Emman uncle of the late King Kaelin in the hopes of mustering troops from the Ferelden nobility. Upon arriving in Redcliffe, they learned that the Owl had fallen ill and was near death. His knights had gone in pursuit of the fabled ashes of Andraste. Emman's only hope for a cure, and the village surrounding the keep was beset by a host of animated corpses. The Wardens found and stopped the demon behind the undead before joining the search for Emman's cure. No one is certain if the Wardens actually located the final resting place of Our Lady Andraste, but whatever they found saved the Owl of Redcliffe. Upon his recovery, Emman Gurin called for a landsmeet, and he and the Wardens travelled to Denrim. The gathered lords and ladies of Ferelden found Tyrion Logan guilty of a number of crimes and sentenced him to execution. Furthermore, the landsmeet granted the vacant throne of Anroma, widow of King Kaelin. The nobility then pledged their own armies in the battle against the Blight. The archdemon clashed with the allied forces at the city of Denerim and was eventually slain, but at terrible cost. Much of the city lay in ruin. The warden who rallied the armies was named the hero of the Ferelden and accorded the highest honour. The Fifth Blight ended before most of Thedas knew it had begun, and had left a terrible wound on Ferelden. The losses suffered at Ostagar and Denrim greatly compromised the security of the kingdom. Southern Ferelden, from the Koriki wilds to the edge of the Baranon, are, to this day, a wasteland. It's uncertain how far the ripples from this event shall travel, or what ways it has already stirred from a study of the Fifth Blight, Sister Petrine, Chantry scholar. The First Inquisition. The birth of the Chantry took place more than 9 ages ago, and the mists of time have obscured once well-known facts. It is commonly believed that the Chantry alone created the Templars and the Circle of the Magi. Few recall there was ever an Inquisition. Those who do believe it predated the Chantry, hunting cultists and mages in a region of terror, ending only upon its transformation into the Templar Order. This is not quite the truth. One must keep in mind the state of the Thedas prior to the Chantry's creation, a world where the only source of order, the Divinter Imperium, had fallen apart. People blamed magic for the death of Andraste, the blight, the terror they saw every day, and not without reason. Abominations and demons rampaged the countryside. No one was safe. Disparate groups of men and women initially formed the Seekers of Truth, determined to establish order because no one else would do what was necessary. The truth they sought, the question they tried to answer, was how to restore the sanity in a world gone mad. Was theirs a reign of terror? Perhaps evidence suggested there was a vigilance in their protection of the mages as they were of regular people. When they intervened, they convened at an ad hoc trial to determine the guilty party. This even the application of justice led to their poor reputation. The Seekers came down against every group at one time or another, their Inquisition gaining notoriety from being on no one's side but their own. They considered themselves good people, however, followers of the Maker, true commandments. This was never more evident than when they laid down their banner in support of the fledgling Chantry. They believed with all their heart that the Templar Order was the answer a desperate Thedas needed in a terrible time. Ultimately, the Inquisition was composed of independent idealists, not Chantry zealots. That is the truth. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of the Chantry Scholar by Brother Gentivi.